Hello, my friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family. This one, we just got to talk about this. Just a quick little something. Just because of the timing with everything that's going on in Virginia right now. So you see out here, FAA-Navy exercise near Florida to cause widespread GPS interference. This is out of Military Times. It's being reported in a few other places. This is out of FHN. And as you see again, Navy exercise expected to disrupt aircraft GPS systems across the southeast. As you see this map, that's a pretty big area there. Lots of people in this area. It's curious, isn't it? Isn't the timing curious? So this map from the FAA shows the area, the heights which aircraft could see some disruption of their GPS system equipment between now and the end of the week, and the next week. So during that whole time, as a result of a Navy GPS interference exercise. So FAA Notice indicates GPS disruptions are likely across the affected area between 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on Saturday, and then from 6 a.m. until 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on Thursday, and from 5:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Friday. And a U.S. Navy exercise off the Georgia coast is expected to disrupt GPS system service during the next several days, potentially affecting commercial and private aircraft flying over Florida and elsewhere all across the southeast through the end of the next week. According to a notice to airmen issued by the FAA, the disruptions began Thursday and will continue through January 24th. Disruptions will occur at various times and at various altitudes in an area stretching from Virginia southward to the Florida Keys and from Georgia westward across the Panhandle and most of Alabama as well. Across northwest Florida, for example, disruptions could be experienced by aircraft flying at 10,000 feet, 25,000 feet, and 40,000 feet, depending on their distance from Navy Carrier Strike Group 4. Operating off of the extreme southeastern coast of Georgia. The FAA notice indicates GPS disruptions are likely across the affected area between, again, 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on Saturday, and then again 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Central Standard on Thursday, and 5:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Friday. Inquiries into the Navy regarding the activities of Carrier Strike Group 4 were not immediately addressed on Friday, but the FAA announcement indicated those activities were related to GPS interference testing. These tests are done periodically to test U.S. defense systems. In addition to GPS, the Navy exercise is expected to affect other air navigation aids, including Wide Area Augmentation System, the Ground-Based Augmentation System, and the Automatic Dependent Surveillance Broadcast System. The Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association, a nonprofit organization that advocates the interest of general aviation, has been concerned for some time about GPS interference testing. So Rune Duke, AOPA, Senior Director of Government Affairs for Airspace, Air Traffic, and Aviation Security, said the organization has recommended better air traffic controller guidance, pilot education, improvements to aircraft systems, and changes to the timing of military jamming as a means of lessening the impact of GPS interference testing. But Duke added many of those recommendations have not gotten any official action. The majority of general and commercial aviation flights utilize GPS for navigation, said Duke, and Duke added an FAA mandate for the use of ADS-B technology aboard aircraft means more pilots are using GPS as part of how air traffic surveils their aircraft. As such, Duke said the incorporation of GPS technology into all aspects of aviation is concerning if the technology will be regularly interfered with. So I wonder how they're doing it. I wonder if we'll see crazy chaff showing up on radars like we've seen in the past, military chaff. It's probably, maybe it's some sort of new technology they're testing as well. Very curious, also very curious of the timing with everything that's happening in Virginia. What do you think, Cindy?
Well, it looks like things are kind of building up to something. I don't know. It's just all very ominous.
It is. And so it makes me want to take a look over here at, there we go, and just see if there's anything that looks unusual. So, this is the USN9 news, and it'll show us fleet movements and stuff. So, we're not even seeing that group because they show the ones that are being deployed. So, right now, you see there's actually 3 over here on the Pacific Theater, and then we have 2 in the Middle East here, and then the USS Nimitz is up off the coast of Canada, it looks like. So that's interesting. It looks like it'd be somewhere around Vancouver. That's curious to me. I don't usually remember seeing them up in this area, and I usually look at this at least once a week. So interesting. But maybe it's all nothing, or maybe there is something going on here. Maybe there is a little bit more than just a coincidence.
I think so. It's all building up. It's all like all arrows are pointing toward kind of brace yourself.
Yeah, and we always talk about being prepared. It doesn't hurt to have a plan. We don't know, what we're going to face. There's a lot of things we're facing on a daily basis. Obviously, Earth changes. Obviously, geopolitical the situation is still pretty tense. There's a lot going on internally in the country. We've talked about the First and Second Amendments, both being under attack. Obviously, the country feels very divided, really divided, more than I ever saw before. And then we have all sorts of unusual things that we're seeing in activities. So, hey, it's always a good idea to have extra food, have a generator, have backups to your backups. I understand everybody's in a different place as far as financial situation. If you have, the financial capabilities, then you definitely utilize them, and always be ready to get off the grid, because, that's something that we've been warned about. And then we also know with the solar cycle, it's probably coming. So it really pays to be prepared, and reach out to your neighbors too, and your friends and family. Have a plan. Communicate with each other. It really doesn't hurt, and could end up saving lives.
Absolutely. Make friends with now's the time to get out there and talk with your neighbors, make friends, bake cookies, cakes, do what it takes to have those support systems around you.
Yeah, and if you have a bug out bag, great. If you don't, you might want to think about it. And again, plans to meet at certain areas. It keeps going into my head right now, the whole Cascadian situation. And we got a lot of earthquakes going on in Puerto Rico. We have unusual earthquake activity, most definitely going on. Dutch, I guess he's on Twitch now alone. And I totally understand, where he's at, because, when you see this and every single thing you do gets demonetized, at some point you just say, okay, all right, well, and you walk away and you go do your thing elsewhere. So, as I mentioned before, we're on Brightian and Bitchute as well. So if anything ever did happen, just go there and look for EEARTS. Or you should be able to find it too at Evolutionary Energy Arts. And we're over on Brightian and Bitchute as well. So guys, be prepared. A lot of weird things going on. It doesn't hurt. And as always, God bless. Stay safe. Namaste.
Namaste.